Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. Um, I dropped a video last night explaining why I haven't done any content in the past week. It's because I've been in the transition of moving to another state. But I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things now. Everything's still a little in a disarray with moving and unpacking and stuff like that. And I'm also trying something a little different, so I'm going to give this a shot the way I'm recording now. Um, but before I get into anything, I just want to thank all the subscribers that have subscribed to my channel while I was off this past week, and all the great comments. I've got a couple of, trolls out there already trying to disrupt the channel on some, some of my videos. Doesn't matter if it's my music reaction videos, whatever it is. Like I said before, you know what? When it comes to this channel, I'm only trying to seek the truth and put out, real information. I have no time to listen to people coming up with lies and leaving comments that are blatant lies. So if you're going to come to this channel and just put lies or just put stuff that you're going to regurgitate that other liars are putting out, do me a favor, just keep going. Go to another website. Go to Facebook for that, if that's what you want to do, because they love to censor people. But anyway, with that being said, please comment, share, subscribe to the channel. It's been growing. I'm very happy. I really appreciate everybody. And I'm going to play a clip. This came out about 2 or 3 hours ago on the news. And, of course, it has to do with more incompetence from the powers that be in Maui over the fire back in August. But of course, people are just, they're trying to tuck tail and point the fingers at everybody else. But without further ado, let's check this out.
Again, with an H&N investigation into the failed emergency response to the Lahaina wildfire. Tonight, a retired Maui police commander is raising doubts about whether the department followed its own emergency action plan. He also questions if a second operations center, manned by the Maui chief of police, slowed the sharing of critical information. H&N Investigates' Allison Blair has the exclusive report.
A recently retired Maui police commander has come forward with information claiming decisions made by current Maui Chief John Pelletier hampered the county's emergency response efforts as fire leveled Lahaina, a claim Pelletier disputes. This is a nightmare. A community caught in an inferno. With little to no warning or direction, thousands of people found themselves trapped in what's become the nation's deadliest wildfire in modern history, left to fend for themselves.
Let me cut it real quick. It doesn't surprise me that Pelletier is going to keep trying to cover his ass, for lack of a better term. Not much that has come out that man's mouth has been the truth, if any, in all honesty. And he's gonna stick to the narrative no matter what. He's gonna stick to the narrative, the governor's gonna stick to the narrative, and the mayor's gonna stick to the narrative, and everybody else below them are just gonna, are gonna be their lapdogs. So it doesn't surprise me that people are still asking questions, and Pelletier, however you pronounce it, is going to just keep trying to make it seem as if no, we did what we did, and we coordinated the right way, which from everything that has been shown, from all the testimony, the thousands of hours of testimony from different people, it shows different. But let's continue.
Why is it important for law enforcement's response to be coordinated with fire and the county's response in a situation like this?
Especially in a situation like this, time is lives.
Assistant Chief Clyde Holokai retired from the Maui Police Department last year after serving nearly 3 decades on the force. Now he's speaking out, questioning if Chief Pelletier followed the department's all-hazard plan. Think of it as a playbook that provides step-by-step instructions on how to respond to large-scale disasters.
It's one of those general orders that we always remind our people to familiarize themselves with.
In your experience, was the all-hazard plan followed August 8th?
No, it wasn't.
Why do you say that?
Because of the way the EOC had been set up. Up until this point, The office of the chief is to man the EOC, and that includes the chief of police, the deputy, and a senior assistant chief.
So the chief of police is supposed to be at the EOC?
Yes. Yes. Up until this point, it's always been that way.
MPD confirmed Chief Pelletier was not at the county's Emergency Operations Center during the...
Okay, well, that's something, I'm glad somebody's pointing it out. I did a video a couple of weeks ago where some of the higher ups in the police department before Pelletier got there were doing, they already had like 20, 30 years under their belt. And then when Pelletier came in, they resigned, saying that he was an abusive person. You know, everybody knows that Pelletier lied. Pelletier lied when he said that he was on the scene. The governor lied, the mayor lied, and the chief, the fire chief lied, and the chief of police lied. They were all in different parts, and what I don't understand is that they, like I said, they're still trying to keep a narrative as if they all coordinated in order to, you know, deal with the situation at hand, which all the proof shows otherwise. There was no coordination whatsoever. People were being turned around to go back into the fire. You don't see much footage, if any, of the fire department trying to put out all these blazes that were going on. You know, it's beyond me why these people still have a job at this point right now. Okay, I mean, there should be an internal investigation, and it should be from Congress, it should be from Washington, and the governor, the mayor, the police chief, and the fire chief should all be told to step down until further notice. And then, in my opinion, they should all be arrested for, you know, criminal negligence when it comes to them not doing the right thing and saving more people the way they claim that they did. But let's continue.
The disaster. Instead, the department says he sent a lieutenant and later an assistant chief. Meanwhile, Pelletier was at police headquarters with several members of his command staff, setting up a department operations center. A task Holokai says is typically taken care of by an assistant chief, so the chief and other members of the chief's office are available to work directly with the county and leaders of other emergency response agencies. He says having the right people collaborating together in the same room is crucial.
If you're not used to that type of situation, at the very least, it's going to be very inefficient. And if you're not of the rank that you can command another officer across a different bureau to take action immediately, that's going to cause problems.
We had phenomenal partnership and integration.
At a recent police commission meeting, Chief Pelletier told commissioners his DOC, quote, worked really well, adding other law enforcement officials were there too.
We have the sheriff.
See, he's going to keep saying that narrative. We worked really well. You know, for him to, he knows all the information that's out there. He knows all the video that's out there. He knows all the testimony that's out there. That's why him and the mayor and the governor are telling people, don't listen to anybody on social media. Don't listen to anybody on YouTube. Don't listen to this. Don't record. You're not allowed in. This, and that. There's a media blackout. Because they know that they all screwed up. They know that they did not get together, and that was not by accident. None of them are incompetent. They all got their jobs for a reason. That was by design. Okay? But they're going to keep spewing the same thing, making it seem as if, you know what? No, this is what we did. And they're going to keep lying about it, thinking that it's going to change people's minds from the truth. When all the proof shows that, you know what? Nobody, not the police department, not the governor's office, not the fire department, and not the mayor's office, nobody took anything and brought it under control and said, you know what? Let's do this, and this. They had so much time from earlier in that day to evacuate Lahaina. Okay, but they didn't. Instead, they rather blame it on another narrative that, oh, it happened at night and it was too late by then. When all the video, all the evidence shows that this fire started early in the day, early in the morning, and just progressed and got bigger and bigger and bigger. And what really kills me about this man is that all the video shows all all the people that he had on the ground, okay, at cross sections in the streets, the way they had traffic to a standstill, slowing it down. That people, by their own testimony, even many people with video, had to show that they had to take their own escape routes. So what in the hell this man is talking about? Saying that, oh, everything worked really well. Like, seriously? Like, does he truly look in the mirror and think that what he did was great? Unbelievable. But let's continue.
Over, they were in our DOC with us. Their leadership were, and the sheriffs were out supporting the missions where we needed them.
H&N Investigates asked Chief Pelletier to do an interview for this story, but he declined due to a scheduling conflict. In an email, we asked if he thought not being at the Emergency Operations Center in any way slowed emergency response efforts. We didn't get a clear yes or no answer. Instead, a spokesperson responded, saying in part, due to the rapid, dynamic, evolving situation, it was appropriate for Chief Pelletier to assist in establishing the DOC.
Oh, that's such, you know, something that he should have responded to, and he can't respond to it, so it's best to just give somebody a bullshit answer and say, go let the media know that I said this. Because the truth of the matter is, had he been asked that question face to face, everybody knows the answer. He knows he messed up, and it's not like I said. I don't believe for a minute the way this has happened and the way it's been turning out. I don't believe for a minute that anybody was incompetent. Incompetent, in my opinion, that word should go out the door, and nobody should be held responsible for being incompetent for what happened. Okay, because everything points to a well-coordinated event that was going to cost lives. And still, even though I haven't been on in a week, I still keep a close ear to the ground. Where is the true number to all the children that are missing and all the adults that are missing? Still no definitive answer. Okay, but let's continue.
Molokai says the fact that so many decision makers were spread out at different locations likely slowed sharing of critical information.
That's going to cause problems and at the very least a lag in the response time.
It's insight that could further explain the apparent breakdown in communication among agencies within the state and county during the disaster.
I'm happy to report that the road is open to and from Lahaina.
That's Mayor Richard Bisson, August 8th on the 6 o'clock news. At that point, much of the town was already on fire, with people jumping into the ocean to try and...
See, look at that. You know, for that man to say that, I find it, again, hard to believe that he didn't have any information, and he's over here telling people that, oh, you can go back in, as if trying to corral everybody into a spot. Another thing that I noticed, I didn't bring it up, and I've been looking at a lot of video. I did not notice, and if anybody has noticed it or has it on video, please refer it to me so I can check it out for myself. But everybody knows that when there's some sort of forest fire or anything to that matter, there's usually like helicopters in the air reporting from the air. Okay? During actual time, reporting from the air. I've never seen it. One question should be, did you have anybody up in the air, since everything is so chaotic on the ground, was anybody deployed up in the air to send in reports to all these emergency services? Because that's another thing that nobody really talks about, nobody really sees as far as actual footage. With, again, no interviewing of police officers, no interviewing of fire department, no interviewing of emergency services workers. It's like they keep trying to make people believe that all that was done. But yet there's proof of everything else that contradicts it, but no proof of what it is they're trying to claim that they did that was good for the people. But let's continue.
Escape the flames.
Aloha. Aloha, everyone.
Then in a press conference 2 weeks later, the mayor made a troubling admission when asked who was calling the shots the day Lahaina burned.
I'm not sure who was in charge.
The head of Maui's emergency management agency wasn't in the EOC either. He left Maui a day prior to the disaster amid fire.
Yeah, he left the day prior, came back in, and then the next day after his press conference, he resigned due to health issues. You know, it's just one. Well, like I've been saying in a lot of my videos, where they contradict themselves so much. Everything that they're saying is such a contradiction, and yet they want people to keep believing that what they're saying is true. So you got 4 or 5 people that are in charge, okay, telling thousands of people with actual footage that no, you're wrong, that's not me, that's all lies. No, it's what we say, that's what truly happened. This is why I believe that, you know what, Washington needs to get involved. And people say, well, they can't do that. Yes, they can. This was a national emergency, okay? Thousands of people are missing. Hundreds of people are dead, contrary to what these people are saying of what the total death count is. Hundreds of children are still missing, okay? Why the government hasn't stepped in and send in the jackboots, because they'll send it in for everybody else. There's not a politician or someone who doesn't, you know, who doesn't agree with them. But why they haven't sent anybody in to come and take control of the situation and say, you know what, you guys failed. We need answers. Why they haven't done that is beyond me. But let's continue.
Warnings to attend a FEMA conference in Waikiki.
He was in contact with his team, I guess by phone. I don't know exactly how.
While the mayor says he was in the EOC, he and the head of the state's emergency management agency also revealed they had no idea anyone had died until the day after the blaze.
Oh, that is such a crocker. Oh my Lord, I cannot believe this. How in the world can you see something so massive and devastating and not even assume that people could have perished? Oh, and by the way, that guy in the military fatigues, that was the guy who had to tell one of the reporters to call him Major General. I mean, he was just so sarcastic about it, so condescending about it. And I question that also. Why was the military involved in all this? Okay? The man before him, Andala, I believe his name is, or Andaya, whatever, for him to be at a FEMA conference the day before the fire. I mean, these things just don't add up. And it almost sounds like I've been saying, and I mean, at this point, millions of people around the world, it all just sounds so sinister. But since they didn't put the plan together the way they wanted, in my opinion, this is why everything they say it just contradicts every other thing that comes out of their mouth. But let's continue.
Picture the EOC. Tell me what it's like.
Well, you have the police radio going on, so you can hear firsthand what's going on in the field with our officers. You're there with the heads of every agency, so you can hear what's going on with the fire department, with the medics.
He says officials there also have access to the computer-aided dispatch system.
So you can read and you can see who is at what place when they're on traffic posts.
Is there any reason why someone in the EOC wouldn't know what's happening in the field?
No, there should not be any reason.
We've heard
There you go. And this is a 30-year vet. I mean, a guy that's been in the department 30 years. I don't know if he retired or he was fired or he resigned. But either way, the man's got 30 years under his belt to know that the way certain departments have to work, it's not, you know, for the mayor to come out and say he doesn't know, for the police chief to say he doesn't know, for the governor to say he doesn't know, that's all bullshit. How in the world do you guys not coordinate and get together even before the fire got big, even during the day in the morning? You mean to tell me they had no contact with each other to say, listen, how's your section going? How's your area going? How's your part of the town going? You know, what is it that we're going to need just in case this gets out of hand? You mean to tell me that not one of those 3 men, I should say 4, with the fire chief, they didn't all coordinate, starting with the fire chief first, in my opinion, and say, you know what, we got to implement these things. Are we watching this close by? Are we watching to make sure with all these high winds and the fire? Like I said, I find it hard to believe that this was a level of incompetence. Incompetence is the easy way to say, you know what, oops, I messed up, forgive me. To claim incompetence. This is not a oops, I messed up situation. This is a situation where people need to be held accountable and go to prison. Okay? Plain and simple, for negligent homicide. If not for, for premeditated, who knows what could come, could come about it. Because that's what it all seems like. It seems like a lot of this was premeditated, as if it was coordinated to be the way it was, if not to have a worse result than what it did. But let's continue.
Multiple times that people who were supposed to have been in the EOC, they weren't sure what was happening. How's that possible?
I don't know. I cannot tell you.
We asked MPD if it followed its all-hazard plan in response to the Lahaina fire. The department's response was vague, saying many protocols were followed, adding our question would be addressed in the after-action report, which will cover what went right, what went wrong, and how we can improve. The department says it will take at least a year and a half before the full report is complete.
Yeah, you hear that? A year and a half before the full report is complete. Let me tell you something, people. Pay close attention in a year and a half who is going to be still working. The governor, the mayor, the fire chief, the police chief, whoever it is. Follow them closely. Okay? For them to say that it's going to take a year and a half to figure out who was where. These are not bullshit warehouse jobs where you can just go piss off in the back of the warehouse and go smoke a cigarette and something happened on a conveyor belt and all of a sudden you can point the finger and say, well, I don't know who was where. Or you can easily lie and say, well, I had to go use the bathroom. Okay? Anybody could figure out in this situation who should have been where and who was where. These are figureheads. They need to be that should be known where they are at all times, especially earlier that day before the fires got out of control. This has all the makings of a damn cover-up. And a lot of people have been saying it and thinking of it for the longest, since day one. Here we are nearly 2 months later. Okay? And it's still a fiasco. It's still scandalous. They don't want to take responsibility. They keep diverting the questions and giving whatever answers they want and keep pointing the finger at each other as if, you know what? It's like they're playing this merry-go-round where we just keep pointing the finger at each other, and as time goes on, people will get fed up, people will lose interest, and then we can all go about our happy lives. And no, this is why I said Washington needs to step in. They need to send in the feds if we had a better federal department at this point in time with what's going on. And they all should be shut down. They all should be made to resign. They need to send in emergency people to take over their positions, emergency governor, emergency police chief, emergency fire department, emergency mayor, whichever way they want to word it, and say, listen, you're going to have to go in there and hold it down. And starting with those 4 people, drag their asses in and get to the bottom of what happened. Because it shouldn't take a year and a half to figure out where they all were at and who was communicating. It should not be that hard. In this age of technology, it should be a matter of minutes to find out. It's so funny how they could look up a regular civilian's text messages, cell phone, email addresses within a matter of minutes. The FBI can do that and find out exactly where the hell you're at, what you was doing, what was said, what text messages came and received that once you deleted them. They could do all that to a regular civilian in a matter of minutes. But it's going to take a year and a half to investigate these 4 men and find out who the hell dropped the ball? No, I'm sorry. It's not how it goes. And this is why people need to stay on this. And I apologize again that I haven't done no content in over a week. Like I said, I've been moving, but I've been watching, trying to pay close attention, and nothing's changed. It seems like the circus ring just got bigger. And people need to be held accountable. People need to go to prison for this. This is not about resigning and getting away with it. They need to haul Andaya back in and say, no, you know what? You resign because you're sick? No. You're going to be one of the first ones in. Haul his ass in too. Because he was the one that was in charge. of the sirens. Now, this is my thing. If they're all claiming that they don't know exactly what each other was doing, then why didn't they all individually stick to the game plan of what they were supposed to do in case of an emergency? Think about that, people. Think about that. Because it's like a captain to a ship. The ship is being attacked. A stray bullet hits the captain. Do you think the assistant captain, okay, or the second in command is going to wait till they operate on the captain? No, they got to know right off the bat what to do. And you mean to tell me that the heads, all the heads, the police chief, the fire chief, the governor, the mayor, and the guy that was in charge of the emergency sirens, not one of them could think for themselves? Not one of them took control and says, wait a minute, we need to contact each other. I need to contact this one and that one, and none of them did that? No. There is somebody above them that make them act the way they are, and they're all trying to hide, and they're trying to hide who the puppet master is in this whole thing. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Give it a thumbs up. I want to thank all the new subscribers, both here on YouTube and on Rumble. I want to thank all of you for sticking with me and getting my subscription up on my channels. Don't forget, we can't let this go. I'll try to stay on it as best I can among other things that are happening. Again, I'm still in transition. I'm trying to try out new things as far as recording. I remember, if you can help, in any possible way, the people in Lahaina, find a reputable way. Help them out. Make sure it's legit. And don't stay quiet. We can't let this die down, people. So remember, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace.